World War I, or the Great War, lasted from 1914 to 1918 and left a mark so big it could be seen from space. It wasn't just deadly, it reshaped the world in ways no one saw coming. Sure, it ended in 1918, but its aftermath had us all saying, well, this is awkward. The war changed everything. From medicine and gender roles to global politics and economies. It was like the world hit reset and then had to figure out how to live in the new version. And let's not forget the tech-tank warfare, airplanes, and even the first inklings of modern medicine. So while we're still sorting through the mess, one thing's for sure, World War I didn't just end. It rebooted the 20th century. The birth of the America First movement. The U.S. entered World War I in 1917, shifting its foreign policy from isolationism to global involvement. Emerging as a world power, many Americans remained wary of European entanglements, leading to the rise of the America First movement. This movement advocated for prioritizing American interests and avoiding foreign conflicts. Its nationalist and isolationist ideals gained momentum in the 1930s as tensions in Europe escalated towards World War II. The return to isolationism marked a significant change in American politics, driven by war weariness and a desire for self-preservation, social and medical advancements brought by the war. Though World War I is remembered for its brutality and carnage, it also spurred significant advancements in medicine and social structures. The unprecedented number of casualties and wounded soldiers led to the rapid development of medical technologies and treatments. One of the most important innovations was the widespread use of antiseptics and the development of new surgical techniques to treat severe injuries. The war also saw advancements in blood transfusion techniques and the use of plastic surgery to repair disfiguring wounds. The sheer scale of battlefield injuries led to the establishment of modern military medicine, with field hospitals and mobile units bringing advanced care to soldiers near the front lines. On the social front, the war challenged traditional gender roles as women entered the workforce in unprecedented numbers, filling roles in factories, offices, and hospitals. This social shift laid the groundwork for the women's suffrage movement and set the stage for women's greater participation in public life in the years that followed. The changing role of women in society. World War I had a profound impact on women's roles, especially in the workforce. With millions of men away at war, women stepped into roles traditionally held by men, including working in factories, driving ambulances, serving as nurses, and engaging in intelligence work. Their contributions were vital in the United Kingdom, France, and the United States, earning them newfound respect. The war also sparked movements for women's rights and suffrage, leading to women gaining the right to vote in the US and the UK. Though many women returned to traditional roles post-war, their involvement in public and professional life created a lasting shift, laying the groundwork for future feminist movements. The path to World War II. The rise of Adolf Hitler. The political aftermath of World War I contributed directly to the rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party in Germany. Following Germany's defeat, the Treaty of Versailles was signed in 1919, imposing harsh penalties on the country, including the loss of territory, the payment of massive reparations, and severe military restrictions. These conditions led to widespread resentment among the German population, and the resulting economic instability created fertile ground for extremist ideologies. Hitler, a former soldier and failed politician, capitalized on this discontent by promising to restore Germany's former glory and reverse the humiliations of the Versailles Treaty. His rhetoric of nationalism, militarism, and anti-Semitism found a ready audience among many Germans. The social and economic chaos exacerbated by the war created the perfect conditions for Hitler to rise to power. His eventual leadership of Nazi Germany and the outbreak of World War II in 1939 were direct consequences of the unresolved issues stemming from World War I. The Holocaust. The dark legacy of World War I. One of the most horrifying consequences of World War I was the rise of Nazi ideology, which ultimately led to the Holocaust during World War II. The political instability created by the Treaty of Versailles, combined with economic hardship, gave rise to Adolf Hitler's Nazi Party, whose policies of racial purity, anti-Semitism, and territorial expansion set the stage for the mass genocide of 6 million Jews, as well as millions of others, including Romani people, disabled individuals, and political dissidents. The Holocaust was not an isolated event. It was part of a broader history of discrimination and exclusion that had deep roots in European society. The impact of World War I, in the form of social and political unrest, provided the backdrop for the rise of Nazism and the horrific consequences that followed. Benito Mussolini and the birth of fascism. In addition to the rise of Nazi Germany, World War I also contributed to the birth of fascism in Italy under Benito Mussolini. Mussolini, initially a socialist, became a vocal supporter of Italy's involvement in the war, believing that it would help Italy secure its place as a major European power. After the war, Italy was disillusioned with the Treaty of Versailles, which it felt did not adequately reward Italy's sacrifices. This discontent created an opening for Mussolini, who, in 1922, used his fascist ideology to gain control of Italy through a mix of political maneuvering and violent paramilitary tactics. Mussolini's rise to power marked the beginning of the fascist movement in Europe, and his rule would serve as a model for other authoritarian regimes, most notably Nazi Germany. Mussolini's fascist government, characterized by extreme nationalism, militarism, and authoritarianism, was directly influenced by the post-war political and economic climate. The collapse of empires, the end of Austro-Hungarian power. The defeat of the Central Powers in World War I led to the disintegration of several major empires, most notably the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The empire, which had spanned much of Central and Eastern Europe, was broken apart by the Treaty of Saint-Germain and other peace settlements. The breakup of the empire led to the creation of several new nation-states, such as Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, and Austria. However, the collapse of the Austro-Hungarian Empire also left behind a legacy of ethnic tensions, as various ethnic groups that had been part of the empire were now divided across different countries. These tensions would continue to shape the political and social landscape of Eastern Europe for decades, contributing to the instability that led to World War II. World War I as a catalyst. While the devastation of World War I is often remembered for its loss of life, it also accelerated technological and industrial advancements that would shape the modern world. The war saw the development of new weapons, such as tanks, chemical weapons, and machine guns, as well as innovations in aviation and communications. These technological advances were not confined to the battlefield. They also had far-reaching implications for civilian industries. The mass production methods developed during the war for military purposes would later be applied to civilian industries, leading to the consumer-driven industrial boom of the 1920s. The war also contributed to advancements in medicine, particularly in the treatment of injuries and infections, and helped lay the groundwork for future technological innovations, such as the development of antibiotics and the mass production of automobiles. Political and economic instability in post-war Europe. Following the end of World War I, Europe was left politically and economically destabilized. The physical devastation of cities, combined with the costs of rebuilding, put a significant strain on European economies. The economic hardships caused by the war, coupled with the reparation demands placed on Germany by the Treaty of Versailles, led to hyperinflation, unemployment, and widespread poverty in many countries. In Germany, the economic crisis contributed to the rise of extremist political movements, including the Nazi Party. The political instability of the post-war period also saw the collapse of several monarchies, including the Russian, German, and Austro-Hungarian empires, and the rise of new forms of government, such as communist and fascist regimes. The failure of the League of Nations to maintain peace in the post-war world further highlighted the challenges of securing long-term stability. That's all for today's video. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with others who might find it interesting. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analysis and historical content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.